Hey guys, it's the Nerdy Movie Guy. So today we're going to talk about episode 6 of Ahsoka. Now, I don't really know where to start, so I'll just kind of dive into the new characters. So we see Morgan Elsbeth and her crew land on this new surface world, and there is, you guessed it, more Night Sisters. So let me give you a brief history of the Night Sisters. I don't know if the Night Sisters existed in Legends or not. I haven't read that much of Legends, guys. I wish I knew more. But just basing my knowledge off of the movies and the TV shows, we see in Clone Wars that the Night Sisters ruled Dathomir. There's plenty of them. They kind of have this faint connection to the Force, or at least the powerful ones do. And Asajj Ventress was a part of these Night Sisters. And in Clone Wars, Dooku sent General Grievous to wipe out the Night Sisters, and he killed all but 2 of them. Mother Talzin showed up later on in Season 6, I believe, and Asajj Ventress was meant to be one of the main survivors. Now, I don't know if you count these as part of Clone Wars or not. There was I think it was under the Marvel label for Star Wars comic series. There was a book called Son of Dathomir, and in this book, it was based off of unaired episodes of Clone Wars, and in this book, they killed Mother Talzin. And then there's another book called Dark Disciple, which I believe is part of the Del Rey timeline as far as the Star Wars novels are concerned. And in this book, they killed Asajj Ventress. So if you count these as canon, both of them died before the Clone Wars was actually over, before the timeline of the Clone Wars, before Revenge of the Sith. So at first we believe Ventress is the last of the Night Sisters until she dies. And so guess what? We get a new video game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I love the game, guys. I love the characters. But we get to meet this new character, Merrin, and she is the last of the Night Sisters. So here we go again, another character. Alright, great. She's interesting. Neat character, neat story. I'm in. Now we're watching The Mandalorian. Now we get a new character, Morgan Elsbeth. Guess what? She's the last of the Night Sisters. So, okay, fine. It's live action. Maybe there's going to be some connection. We'll see what's going on here. I'm in. So, now we're watching Ahsoka. Morgan Elsbeth, Baylan, Shin, they show up on the surface world. And now there are, you guessed it, more Last Night Sisters. So, I don't know, guys. I'm kind of getting tired of the Last Night Sister. Disney's kind of taking this theme, because it's the same thing with Jedi, where it's the last Jedi after Order 66. This is the last Jedi survivor. This is the last Jedi. And I don't know if Order 66 is meant to be useless or not anymore. I don't know. But it seems to be a recurring theme where Jedi just keep surviving. And it seems like it's becoming the case with Night Sisters. So, okay, whatever. If you guys are a fan of the Night Sisters, you probably enjoyed this a lot more than I did. I think as far as the costume design, the makeup, the appearance, the final product, the Night Sisters look pretty cool. As far as the generic viewer's point of view, it was cool to see them, alright? It was pretty neat. And they're using the magic, so it was cool to see that again. The green Night Sister magic in live action now. That was pretty cool. But I think the thing that kind of made this episode kind of wobbly for me was the pacing. Because at first, they show up on this planet, they're talking about it, they don't know what's going on, and now we see the Night Sisters. And then we see they send Sabine away to lock up, I guess. And now we finally get to see Thrawn. He finally returns in this episode. The trailer showed Thrawn as a new presence, a new threat in the galaxy, halfway through the series. So, I don't know. I just kind of got tired of waiting so long. I kind of felt like a lot of the previous episodes, episode 5 aside, even though it kind of was a filler, I'm kind of getting tired of the filler episodes. And I won't get into it, guys, but I've noticed it's a theme with Disney Plus, where a lot of their Marvel series, a lot of the Star Wars series, most of the series are filled with kind of a neat premiere, a bunch of filler, then a cool finale. And it seems to be the case for a lot of these shows, and I think Ahsoka follows the same trend. So in this episode, we see Thrawn, and is it worth the wait? Is Thrawn really, redeemed? Is he that kind of cool character again like he was in Legends? I don't know. He doesn't get a lot of dialogue yet, at least in this episode, and we don't really see him do all that much. He kind of feels like the same Thrawn from Rebels, which I haven't read the books that he's in Legends, but I know enough about his story to know that diehard fans of that Thrawn were probably upset with his portrayal in Star Wars Rebels. And in Star Wars Rebels, I just felt like he kept letting everyone get away. It felt like there's really no consequences when the Legacy characters had to fight Grand Admiral Thrawn. It was one of those things where every time they fought Thrawn, I was like, all right, well, there's another filler because they'll just get away in the end. And it was like that over and over and over again. And it seems to be the case with this Thrawn as well. So they just sent Sabine to lock up, but now she's back because they're going to send her away so she can find Ezra so they can kill Ezra. So why Sabine, who's never been there, who doesn't know the tracking, who hasn't studied the world? I don't know why the Imperials think that Sabine has a better chance of finding him than they do, but, you know, instead of just killing her and going to find Ezra, they decide to let the two of them reunite and then fight them. So anyway, we see Sabine head off, and all right, well, she's gonna find Ezra. We think, okay, she's gonna find Ezra. There's gonna be a standoff between Sabine and Ezra against Thrawn, but now she has to run to bandits. I don't know what the purpose of the bandits were in this episode. To me, the only thing that I noticed was it was just another fight where she didn't use her lightsaber, which is kind of annoying to me. I don't know. It's just, I guess it was just the kid in me watching Star Wars. I feel like the lightsaber is the most powerful weapon in the galaxy besides a Death Star. And Sabine doesn't realize that, I guess. She keeps wanting to use her blaster for some reason. So I don't know what the deal is. She fights these bandits who we don't know anything about. We don't know what their connection is to the galaxy, to the Rebels, to Thrawn, to anything. They're just kind of there. So it felt random, and it felt like filler scenes for the pacing of the episode so that they can have a longer runtime. It's what it felt like to me. And now we get to see Sabine moves on and she finds these little Ninja Turtles. We don't know what's going on here. This is definitely the some of the sillier version of the cartoons. Was kind of these kind of cutesy kitty characters that I guess guys like me just didn't appreciate the way a kid would. I don't know. They were just kind of these small little characters, and I don't know what the purpose of them really were. It was just another side quest in finding Ezra. We see the village where Ezra shows up in the end is filled with these little turtles, and I don't know why Sabine couldn't just find that village in the first place. So again, guys, to me, this just felt like scenes that were just dragging the runtime so that it's a full-length episode. She does reunite with Ezra, and we don't get a lot from him. I'm sure we'll get a lot of Ezra in the next episode, but for now, you know, I can't really judge the portrayal of the character or the representation of the character just yet because he's barely in it. But it was cool to see him again. I'm glad he's back. I'm a fan of Ezra, and I like his Jedi journey. I like his story. You know, he was the main character in Star Wars Rebels, and yeah, he's kind of meant for kids. The dialogue was very G-rated. There wasn't a lot of edgy or risk-taking involved with his character. I hope that's not the case anymore. I hope his character can evolve and mature, and we get to see kind of a more powerful version of this character. If you think about it, I've seen so much. You guys can correct me. I don't know exactly how long of the timeline is between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. I'm not sure. I've heard different versions. I'm going to guess it's around 3 to 5 years. I don't know. What I do know is that there is 9 years between Return of the Jedi and Ahsoka. So let's just say, for argument's sake, Ezra looks like he could have been 18. I don't think that's correct. But let's say, for argument's sake, he's 18. He's 29 by the end of Rebels. Let's say it all takes place in a year, which isn't. He's about 29 years old now. So anyway, he's older than that. This is just me not realizing the time in between these movies. But anyway, when we last saw Ezra, he's a kid. Now he's probably in his very early 30s. So I hope we do get a more matured version of him. But that's just my wishful thinking. I hope it happens. I don't know if it will. Overall, this episode, it was kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see, but it just felt like there was a lot of filler stuff that just honestly wasn't really necessary at all. We get a little bit more mystery from Balin's skull, which has been my biggest interest in this show so far. So I hope they continue to explain and show more of his character and his story. That's what I'm invested in right now, is Balin's skull. So here's hoping the next episode gives us more answers, more content, and less filler. Thanks for watching, guys.